Now, in 2013, Pádraig Schaler, a Trinity College student and a talented swimmer's life changed forever. As he was cycling to work in Cape Cod while on his J1 visa, he was hit by a truck and suffered severe brain injuries.
Pádraig's father, Reinhard Schaler, joins us now to talk about his son and the lack of services for those with acquired brain injuries and the An Saol Project. You're very welcome this morning here, Reinhard.
Thank you very much, Gina.
I'm sorry it's under these circumstances, but I know you're doing it for all of the right reasons and it matters to you a great deal and to your son and to everyone involved. Do you mind if I ask you to do something quite cruel and go back and think about Pádraig before he had this accident? Because he had the world at his feet.
He did, yeah. He, as you said, he was a very talented swimmer. You know, he was an Irish champion. He got a scholarship to swim in a first division college in the States. He was an up-and-coming journalist, so he had a couple of radio shows on Irish language radio stations.
Yeah, he loved the Irish language, didn't he?
Yeah, he was the Rochter in Trinity College. You know, Trinity's the Common Gaelach, the second largest student society. So he was a very bright, young, determined man. Yeah.
And he decided to go off, before he decided what next to do with his life, which quite possibly could have been swimming in the Olympics, he decided to spend the summer in Cape Cod.
Yeah, so he graduated. Well, he didn't graduate. He got his results before he went. In May, his birthday was really the last time that we were all together. The next day he went to Cape Cod and decided to take out the summer to consider his options, of which there were many.
Yes,
yeah. And he was cycling along and a simple accident changed everything.
On a country road, yeah, on a small country road, very narrow country road, and a truck, one of those pickup trucks, tried to overtake him, clipped him, and it was a few millimetres that changed his life forever.
And changed your lives forever as well, of course. I mean, it's not just Pádraig; it's the whole family and friends and everybody whose life changes as a result. Once you got over the initial shock of what had happened to Pádraig, and you were going through the recuperation process, then I suppose in a way the cracks started to emerge in what you saw as the treatments that were available for him. Yeah,
we didn't know how to deal with the situation. We were completely out of our depth. The beginning, the first few weeks, we didn't sleep, we didn't eat. We were just in shock.
What were you told actually? What was the prognosis? Because he was brought back to Ireland. He was in Beaumont. I know he's in the high dependency unit there, and they do wonderful work there in Beaumont.
They do, yeah.
Was he in a coma? Did they induce a coma? What was the situation?
He was in a coma for quite a long time, and the prognosis, both on Cape Cod, in the hospital in Cape Cod, and in Beaumont, was pretty dim. Doctors didn't see much of a future. In Cape Cod, they were talking about organ donations, so they were pretty radical there.
Wow.
And in Beaumont, they were talking. They were asking us, which nursing home is he going to go to? Because for them, there was no future.
So as they saw it, he would spend the rest of his life in a bed, just staring at a ceiling, and that was it. Ye saw things very differently, and I suppose Pádraig saw things differently too. There was a determination there in both your parts for him to have a better quality of life than that.
Yeah, we decided Pádraig was not going to go to a nursing home, that he was going to have a life, different life, obviously, from the one that he had before and the one that he had planned and that we had wished for. So we started working on it, and we started to learn about severe acquired brain injuries. We looked at treatments. We learned about early neurological rehabilitation. We looked at the possibilities for that in Ireland, and we were told that there was there's one rehabilitation hospital in Ireland, in Dunleary, that had a waiting list of a year. Even if you get in there, you get a treatment of about 3 months. Some injured get a little bit longer, but more or less 3 months. And then in a case like that, you're sent to a nursing home.
And Reinhard, the logic being that on the part of the authorities that these are rare enough types of injuries, given compared to everything other things that might happen. So therefore, only a certain minute part of the budget is going to be spent on them. That's the way they would come at it. Well,
what we were told on live radio, we had a radio discussion with a senior consultant who said to us, we understand your personal tragedy, and we really feel for you. But if we have to look at the bigger picture, and if you look at the bigger picture, the health system has limited resources, and limited resources have to be spent on sick, injured people who have a chance of recovery.
Yeah.
basically saying that there was no return on investment in our son, which is pretty cruel, I think.
You decided while he was in rehab that this wasn't good enough and you wanted more, and you decided to bring your son back to Germany ultimately because there would have been more options for him there.
Yeah, we decided that that he needed treatment and care and early neurological rehabilitation. And what we did is we brought him to Germany, and he spent a number of months in the hospital there, and then was discharged home. We rented a large apartment, got help from the German health system to. There were therapists coming into the house. You had 4 hours, 4 double sessions of physio, 3 hours, 3 sessions, and
that was all
OT
on the
and SLT.
That was offered.
That is a matter
standard
of course.
practice
That is standard
in
practice.
Germany.
Yeah, you get a prescription from your doctor. And the doctor looks at the case and says, well, here's somebody that really needs help to recover, that is showing great potential, and they help you on the way. There was no question about it.
Reinhard, there's 2 sides to this. One is the therapeutic side, so that the help that's needed
medical,
for medical side. The other side is that Reinhard is a young man with a whole life ahead of him. So there's other parts of life, that you don't get if you're in a nursing home, like the social side of his life. We just saw the images there of him outside and enjoying the sunshine. That's equally important, isn't it?
Well, there's things that you don't realize, So if somebody, but you try that yourself. You stay in a room, for a week.
Yes.
It's not good for your mental health. Yeah.
you go crazy. You don't get any stimulation. You don't feel the sun on your skin. You don't feel the rain on your hair. You don't hear the birds. You don't see babies. You don't hear the dogs barking. They're all things of daily life that you take for granted. If you're in a room or in a nursing home where you maybe go around the block, you're deprived of all of that.
Yeah.
And
when you need it most, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so you need stimulation, and everybody knows that. If you want to get better at something, you try hard. And Pádraig knows that. When he wanted to get better times for his swim, he had to get PBs, and he had to really, push himself hard.
Yes.
And what you need in a situation like that is to push yourself, not to. Retire and wait for the end. But you have to push yourself.
What level of interaction were you having with Pádraig at this stage? Because he had major brain injury. So how is he able to communicate with you?
Well, first of all, that he can communicate with us is absolutely
brilliant. It's amazing. It is astounding.
Yeah. And he's probably watching at home now. With his mother.
What's mum's name?
Pat.
Pat. Good morning to you, Pat.
and this is all stuff that nobody had expected him to do. So we can talk to him. He can respond to us, and we have an amazing SLT, speech and language therapist, who has managed to get him a computer that will allow him to take control over his life again. So to say what he wants to drink, what he wants to put on, what kind of jumper in the morning.
Gives him some dignity.
Do you think if he'd stayed in Ireland, he would be at a stage where he's able to communicate with you to the degree that he can and have the life that he has?
I think the fact that he got really a good treatment and that we got the help helped him and us to deal with the situation, because it's also it's the family and the parents that have to deal with it.
It's a huge emotional deal, yeah.
And also to have the confidence to say, we don't take, that if doctors tell you, well, this is the future of your son, you have to be able to stand up and say, no, this is not the future. His future is life.
And Reinhard, this is, I suppose, why you have put together An Saol, the organisation you have with the aim it has. And it's not only to look after Pádraig, but other people who find themselves in this situation. Tell us about the project and what you're trying to achieve.
Well, what we want to do is, we know from personal experience, and research shows that even people with a very severe acquired brain injury, especially if they're young, have a great chance of recovery. And it takes longer. And it's a long road. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
And but if they get the right help, and if they get the right support, and the families get the right support, recovery to a certain degree is possible. Yeah. And the fact that to be living alive in a nursing home is not something that should happen.
So there's a pilot project now where 5 people with acquired brain injury will get 3 years in accommodation and in an environment that's like a home, and that's going to cost you around 1.6 million.
Over the 3 years for those 5 people, and it's approximately the same amount of money that the health system is spending now on 5 people over 3 years. So it's not a question of resources.
It's to prove a point, isn't it?
And to spend resources wisely and in the right way.
Yes.
And I know you wanted to say thank you to everyone who's offered you so much support, because financially you nearly lost your home over this, and it was those who rallied around you as a family, friends. There you go. Yeah.
So there's one of his friends put together a CD. Amron the Pádraig, and
your Irish is very good.
Pádraig songs. Aaron, you're quite right. Yeah.
And so this is just one example. They swam around Ireland. People did unbelievable things, and Pádraig inspired. With his determination to get better, inspired so many people to do crazy things. And we're going to do another crazy thing. We're going to cycle from Hollywood to Napa in October. And 3 old guys, one good cause. And we hope we will make it. We'll be thinking of Pádraig all the time, just to help us raise that fund.
Well, Reinhard, more details available on that on ansaol.ie, ansaol.ie. And thank you so much for coming in. Best luck to Pádraig and best luck to you all with the project.
I can see where Pádraig gets his determination from.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good morning to Pádraig and to Pat if they're watching at home.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Reinhard.